Good morning, students. Here I have come to tell you about the glimpses of India, which is one of the most beautiful country ever found on the earth in the world. Really, it is one of the best countries which has included so many cultures, civilizations, as well as the languages and the religions. That's why it is called a subcontinent. This country has such a vast number of accommodations of cultures who migrated from abroad and settled in India and really affected the culture of India. That is a mingling culture, rainbow colored culture, we can say. Here you are going to learn about that very culture who really found it true. That is Lucio Rodriguez. That I will tell you about this very man who did something for this country. And what is this? He was a man who was born in 1917 and died in 1973. He was a great Konkani essayist. He wrote several articles in English and Konkani to various periodicals and magazines. He served as the visiting professor of folklore in many universities. He also worked as a professor of English in Mumbai and Goa. His writing is a great asset for English literature. His two great essays posthumously published are Of Soul and Soil and Konkani Folk Tales. Really, this man has subtle humor and informal narration. This man has some special features who has described it in this very lesson. Here I will tell you something more about this lesson. These are the houses found in Goa. Really, these are the historic houses that tell us about its culture and that are found there. You can understand it, how nicely well decorated houses are found in Goa. So here I meant to tell you that what are the things that really attract the people to visit this very land. What is the theme of the story? The writer presents a paint portrait of a traditional Goan village baker who still has an important place in its society. Elders still think fondly of the famous Portuguese loaves of bread. The family tradition is still carried on even today by the new generation of bakers. They are called padders in Goa. Means bakers are called padders in Goa. So you will understand it. Even today, marriage gifts are meaningless without the sweet bread or the bell, just as a party or a feast loses charm without Goan bread. Really, it is a wonderful tradition that is followed there. First point that I am going to tell you, that is what you will understand. Elders are nostalgic about Portuguese bread. They find it in Goa and they are so good. These breads are famous in Goa. If the eaters of loaves might have died, but the makers are still here. The free fire in the furnaces that make these breads has not yet been extinguished. You can see this is the bakery where the fire is still burning and the breads are prepared. So when the bakers arrived here, you will understand. The narrator has spent his childhood in Goa, and this childhood is really so important. What are the things that he loves to make? That is very, very important to understand. He says that their elders were often heard reminiscing nostalgically reminiscing. What does it mean? Thinking fondly of the past. He thinks of his past very well. What are they? The Portuguese loved their loaves of bread. Those eaters of loaves might have vanished, but the makers are still there. He says, they still have amongst them the mixers, the molders, and those who bake the loaves, who are called mixers. Mixers are those people who really mix the flour. That is the work of these people. Molders who molds them, gives them shape, and they really work in this very bakery. It is an age-old job. Time-tested furnaces are still existing there. The fire in the furnaces has not yet been extinguished. The thud and jingle. Thud, what is thud? Thud is something that when falls from a height and makes some sound, as the lizard falls on the ground and makes thud when the stick is just pressed or something fallen, that makes a thud sound. Jingling, it is actually the sound of the bells. The traditional baker's bamboo heralding his arrival in the morning. Means now in the morning, who comes first of all? The padders. Who are the padders? They are the bakers. They can still be heard in some places. Maybe the father is not alive, but the son still carries on the family profession. Means they follow this occupation traditionally. This is their traditional occupation. They follow this profession. These bakers are even today known as padder in Goa. When the narrator was a child, he found something that you have to understand. What is that? The baker used to be their friend, companion, and guide. The three terms are used. What are these terms? Three terms. The baker used to be their what? Guide. What is that? Guide. That you have to understand. They just companion and friend. Three terms are used. So you must understand and remember it. They are the friend, companion, and guide. Means the baker used to come at least twice a day. How many times did the bakers visit? Twice. Once when he set out in the morning on his selling round. Means in the morning when he goes for selling, and then again when he returned after emptying his huge basket. Means this baker carries a very big basket, and in this very big basket he just tells that he carries these breads, the various kinds of breads that you will see and understand. The jingling thud of the baker's bamboo really made the children wake up from their deep sleep, sound sleep, and as soon as they heard the sound of the thud of the bamboo, they came out of their houses and greeted the bakers. Why was it so? Was it for the love of the loaf? It is a question. Not at all. Means it was not that they wanted to see them, but it was not the love of the loaf, but the loaves were bought by some Pasquine or Bastine. Pasquine or Bastine. The picture you see, they are the Pasquine or Bastine. They are what? The maid servants. They are the maid servant of the house. They are so they longed for. Well, what did they long for? They longed for those braid bangles. The children were was just willing to get those braid bangles which they chose carefully. Sometimes it was sweet bread of a special make. So the children came out of their houses in order to just pick up those bread that they wanted to eat, and those were called bread bangles. Bread bangles. So in this video I have told you this much, and in the next video I will tell you something more. Thank you children. Thank you.